today I'm going to be taking you through a mobility class. So we're going to be doing a full body mobility session today. And for the majority of the time, we're going to be only doing 8 reps, okay? But we're going to be repeating this 2 times. Anywhere between 2 and 3 times you can do. Honestly, even if after this class, if you want to implement this mobility routine into your own day-to-day lives, even if you only do 1 round, that's better than nothing, okay? When we're doing the movements, it's really important that you're going to your own end range of motion. So I'm going to be going along with you and showing you, obviously, how to do the movements properly. But don't worry if you can't go to where maybe I can go, or if you can go further and have a further end range of motion, then that's great. You want to make sure that you're going to where you feel the stretch, not to where maybe someone else will feel the stretch, okay? If you're finding it difficult to get into the position that I'm getting into, it's really important to only go to your end range of motion, like I just said, so wherever you're comfortable. And whenever you're in that position, you want to focus on your breath. This will allow you to help get into the, and increase the range of motion or more into whatever exercise we're doing, okay? So a tool that I like to use for your count of your breath is you're going to inhale on a 4 count, and then you're going to exhale on an 8 count. And like I mentioned, this will help you get into to the exercise better, as well as increase your end range of motion, okay? So today, full body, we're going to start off with our head, okay? So every time that we're going to be standing up, we want to make sure that, because this is a mobility class, that we're in a nice shoulder width stance, and feel free to keep your core braced, okay? So you don't want to be hunched over like so, or extending your back too much. You want to make sure that your core is nice and braced, and you're keeping the air in your abdomen here, okay? So going to start with 8 reps doing head nods. So the goal is to bring our chin as close down to our chest as we can, keeping a nice and neutral spine. Then we're slowly going to bring our head back to wherever we feel comfortable, okay? That's 1 rep. We're going to do this 8 times. So nice and slow, there's no rush. Keeping that core nice and braced. Making sure to breathe. Just deep breaths, or like I mentioned, you can inhale on a 4 count and then exhale on an 8 count. Noticing here, even just by doing a simple head nod, noticing if you're having any tension, maybe in your neck, maybe in your upper back, your shoulders. So you're essentially playing detective throughout your mobility routine and seeing where sticky points are for you, or where you're holding some tension. We're going to do 3 more. And hopefully during the reps, you're increasing your range of motion. Not pushing it, but just consciously thinking about that with each rep that we do. Okay, good. So now that we've done our neck, now we're going to go to our feet. So something that you can do with your feet is practice without any socks on, just lifting your toes. So you can do this as many times as you want throughout the day if you wish, multiple times a day, but just focusing on just lifting your big toe, putting your big toe down, lifting only your pinky toe, lifting your big toe again, holding it. So this is good because a lot of the times when we're wearing socks and shoes and boots, we've lost touch with what our feet are actually doing and totally forgetting about them. But everything that happens with your feet ultimately goes all the way up the chain and vice versa, okay? So just like it's important, it might seem like, oh, we're just doing the neck. It's very important because it travels all the way down and vice versa. It's important that we focus on our feet because that's going to travel all the way up, okay? So like I mentioned, this is something that you would do without your socks on and just play around with what toes you can lift up, putting them down, and there's no set amount of reps for any of this. It's whatever you think. Maybe your left foot is really easy at bringing all your toes up. Maybe your right foot struggles, so spend a little bit more time on that one, okay? So that's something that you can practice with on your own. So going into the ankle glides, we're going to be doing 8 reps a side, okay? So the goal with this one is to increase our ankle mobility. So we're going to start with our left ankle here. Our right hand is going to be placed on top of that left foot, and then our left hand is going to cup the back of our left ankle, okay? So with this, your right leg too can be however you feel is comfortable. We're going to try to bring our knee over that big toe and back as much as we can. Okay? So forward, trying to go as far as we can, and back. Our hands are just making sure that our ankle's not trying to lift up. It's staying nice and flat on the ground. And again, only go to where you feel like your end range of motion is. And it doesn't need to be fast. Trying to, if you can, increase that range of motion with each rep that we do. We have 3 more. Making sure to breathe. Good. 1 more. Perfect. Now we're going to be going into the right ankle. So, right leg comes up, right hand's going to touch the top of our foot, and our left hand's going to cup behind. Again, trying to bring that knee as far forward as we can over that big toe, and coming back. Like I mentioned, if you notice maybe this ankle is much more tighter than your left, feel free to do more than 8 reps on it, okay? You're listening to your body and seeing what it needs. Good job, we're halfway. Inhale on a 4 count, exhale on an 8 count. Great work. Okay, so now we're going to do a hip opener. So this one's called a wide stance rock. So, like the name, we're going to make sure that we're in a wide stance, okay? Hands are on the ground. With this one, essentially all we're doing is just rocking back and forth, okay? So, inhale and exhale, rocking back. Okay? As far as we can forward, and then nice and slow all the way back, okay? We're going to be doing 15 of these. Exhaling on the way down. Again, going to your end range of motion. Keeping a nice neutral spine. Trying to increase that range of motion. Keeping your core braced. We got 4 more to go. If you want, you can really just try to meditate into your stretch. That's more relaxing for you. And last one here. Good. Okay. So we're still going to be on all fours now. And we're going to do some T-spine rotations, okay? So focusing on our thoracic spine. We're going to have our hands down. Knees are going to just be about hip width apart, okay? So they're not going to be very wide here. We're going to start with our left. So our left hand is going to cup our left ear. We're going to go down as much as we can, and then looking up to the ceiling, okay? Nice and slow. Inhale and exhale. Keeping that spine nice and neutral. Deep breaths. Trying to increase that end range of motion. Noticing any sticky parts or tension that you're holding. Doing one more on this side. Good. Okay, now left hand's going to go down on the ground. Right hand's going to come up and cup our ear. Going down as much as we can and looking up to the ceiling. That's one breath. Making sure to breathe. Keeping that core nice and tight, nice and braced. Really open up. Two more reps. Last one here. Great. Okay. Now we're going to be doing some shoulder circles, okay? So we're going to practice just a little bit of a radiation. So essentially what a radiation is ensuring that all the muscles are tense and activated when you're going to go perform a movement or an exercise of some sort, okay? This is good for mobility, for most exercises actually, because it's allowing you just to focus on that movement and not allow other things trying to assist you, okay? So obviously, because I'm teaching this, I'm not going to be able to irradiate to the full 90%, 100% here. If you've never done this before, it is totally normal if you start to shake a little bit. Okay, that's actually a good thing because it shows that you're fully engaged. But what we want to do for the setup is have our feet, again, shoulder width apart. And we want to take a big inhale in, okay? So an inhale on 4 with me. And exhale, and on the exhale, we really want to just focus on sending the air and making a strong, sturdy base with our hands in fists, okay, down by our sides, all right? So if I was to come over and lightly touch you and try to push you, I shouldn't be able to make you move. You should be a nice, sturdy base, okay? So starting with our left, you're going to be irradiated about anywhere between 80 to to 100%, up to you. Only focusing on this left shoulder, okay? So hand is going to come out flat, and we're going to start moving forward. Now when we get here, we're going to turn our hand and make a circle. So this is why it's important to do the irradiation, so that we do not allow anything else to try to assist us, okay? So now my pinky is facing you. It's going to come back, and we're going to finish the circle. Good. Only going to your end range. We're going to do that 4 times per side, okay? When I get here, turning my hand, so my pinky should be coming, trying to face you, and going back. Keeping that core braced. Really being mindful and seeing here where you might have some issues. We're going to do one more. So coming up, turning our hand, trying to draw a big circle behind us. Pinkies are facing forward. We're going to bring them back. Good. Okay. Now, take another breath. So inhale on the 4. Exhale, irradiating, resetting, having the fist on our left hand. We're going to now go to our right. So bringing up our shoulder. Hand is nice and flat. We're now going to turn. So my thumb is pointed towards you. My pinky is behind me. Trying to draw a circle. Now completing the circle. Going behind. Turning our hand. Coming down. That's 1. Making sure to breathe. Noticing where you're having those sticky points. Only focusing on that right shoulder, not letting anything else assist us. If we notice that things are trying to come into play besides what we're focusing on, then just work with that end range of motion. Going on our last one here. Okay, great work. So now we're going to do a toe squat pry. Okay, so this is really good to help, especially if you're sitting down all day at a computer, or this is also a great thing to incorporate into your warm-up before you go to lift. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to have our feet shoulder width apart. We're going to squat down and touch our toes, okay? When we're here, we're going to have our hands up into a praying position. And when I say pry, what I mean by that is we're just going to go to the side and slightly push out that knee. We're going to do 8 in total. Making sure to breathe, not allowing the knee to go over your toes. slightly push out those knees with our elbows 8 times. Making sure to breathe. Good, standing up, taking a breath, coming down, grabbing our toes, back into the praying position, and 8 times again. Good, standing up. Okay, readjusting if need be, shaking it out. We're gonna go for our last one here. So feet shoulder width apart, squatting down, grabbing our toes, coming into the praying position, and just prying those knees out just a little bit, 8 times. Okay, great. Standing up, shaking it out a bit. We're going to do another lower body one. This one's going to be a downward dog to lunge, okay? So we're going to be in a downward dog position, okay? We're going to start with our left leg. So we're going to bring our left leg up through. So we're in this position. Drop down that right leg, and we're just going to open up for a couple seconds. Looking up. Good. Then we're going to pop back up, so we're in that downward dog position again. And same thing with our right leg. Dropping that left leg down, looking up. Good. Then we're going to go back down into that downward dog position, stretching out those calves a bit if we want to. Bringing that left leg back up, dropping down that right knee, and coming up, just looking at our fingertips for a couple seconds. Good. Back into the downward dog position, stretching out those calves if you wish. Bringing that right leg up now, dropping down the left leg, and looking at our right fingertips. Good. Back up, bringing our left leg up. This is the last one. We're doing one more on each side. Looking up on our left fingertips, making sure to breathe. Good. Back into that downward dog position. Stretching out a bit if we feel like we need to. Bringing our right foot up. Left leg's going to drop. Looking at our right fingertips. Okay, great. So great work, everyone. For the sake of this class, I'm only going to show you this once, but this is something that you can do 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. Honestly, with doing mobility, it doesn't matter how frequently you do it. Ideally, if you could do some form of mobility every day, that would be great. But this is something that you can do multiple times in a day and multiple rounds. You can switch up the reps if you'd like. If you want to do more rounds but fewer reps for time's sake, most definitely feel free to do that. The biggest takeaways is to remember to always breathe. That's a big one. The inhale on the 4 count, the exhale on the 8 count. And you're going to where you feel the stretch, okay? Which may look different or will most likely look different for every single person. The biggest thing is now, if we were to go and do it for a second time or a third time, we would just, now that we're warm, we would try even more to get deeper into that stretch, okay? By using our breathing and meditating more in the stretch if you so wish, okay? So I hope that everyone feels a bit more mobile now. Like I said, feel free to do this multiple times a day. If you're tighter on one side, feel free to add a few more reps on that side, whatever you'd like, okay? You can really personalize any type of mobility to you and your needs. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, for watching this mobility class, and I hope you all have a great day.